And we're here, we're live. I'm fending off a cat from ruining everything by jumping on the laptop and shutting the stream off accidentally. It's F101 week 18. We've lost the plot. This is the second official Minions episode of the podcast. Which is just, I mean, 2 in a row. Can we make it 3 next week? Probably. I
think I will say
Go continue.
And the pregnant minions and Judy Hopps.
I only heard that last part. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh God, let me pull it closer. I was just saying,
Anyway,
I think most of the minion stuff was. Am I just not being able? Can you guys not hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, most of the minion stuff was all stream, so I hope everyone enjoys the references to pregnant minions that was not on the YouTube video.
No, it was not. Anyway, I'm Max. I'm the host. I'm joined by Minion artist aficionado, I guess, Dave.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be so fun?
Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it be so fun? That's all I was gonna say.
Kenna is also here, the other Minion aficionado in the chat.
Yeah, I support Minions' rights to love each other.
All minions are gay.
All minions are gay. You heard it here first. We're rewriting canon. There's a trans minion in the most recent movie.
I thought they're only one gender.
That's been rewritten.
Okay.
Yeah. Minions can be trans now, so.
Nate is here as well. I don't know his stance on the minions.
I think there's a lot of minion canon that I've missed out on.
All right, and
I'm behind on.
Nat as well, who I have to assume is probably in a similar position to Nate.
That would be true. I have so many questions.
Well, we've got, time to answer them as the show goes on. This is officially, this is the #1 F1 Minions podcast in the world, actually. So, but before we continue talking about Minions, we should probably talk about F1, which is what we really are here for. And that starts with the Spa review and with the current standings. So, Mercedes is in first place of the constructors. They got 358. Ferrari's in second. McLaren is third. Honestly, there's no changes, really. The only big thing is that Alpine and Racing Bulls are tied at 61 points apiece. And then in the drivers, there actually was a change because Hamilton got ahead of Russell. So Antonelli's in first with 204. Hamilton with 159, and Russell 50 points behind his teammate at 154 points. Then you've got, I don't think there was any other changes in the standings. Except for, did Lindblad leap over Colapinto this week? No, he didn't. But
No.
Colapinto did get ahead of Behrman. So that is the one change, and he leads Behrman by 1 point. So though not other than that, some point shifting, but not much like standings wise. And now we can talk about the race that happened last weekend. The stewards rocked so hard, we all love them so much. That is my tagline for this race. The finishing order was Antonelli, Leclerc, Verstappen. That's your podium, followed by Hamilton, Piastri, Hadjar, Norris, Bortoleto, Lindblad, Colapinto, rounding out the points. And then Gasly, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Behrman, Albon, Sainz, Ocon, Bottas, and Alonso finished below them. And then Russell, Perez, and Stroll did not finish the race at all. And it was a good day for Kimi Antonelli, Isaac Hadjar, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Arvid Lindblad. It was a bad day for George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, and Carlos Sainz. And it was a very lucky day for Charles Leclerc. So moving just into the team by team here, the biggest story from Spa is obviously the Russell DNF. And the Antonelli win. So that combination kind of ended up being the biggest, at least biggest headline story here. Antonelli extended his lead to Russell or over Russell to 50 points, giving him another race buffer, and Russell fell behind Hamilton by 5. The top teams all got a good start, but Russell just had no speed on the climb up to Urouge, whatever. He attempted to make a move on Hamilton. They came together. Russell got sent into the gravel. It was an obvious lap 1 racing incident. Russell himself was like, this is a lap 1 racing incident. But race control decided to give Lewis a 5-second penalty for the move. He didn't even do a move, he was just there. Um, it was always, I think, a must-win race for Antonelli, but I think really once Russell went out, it was like absolutely Antonelli had to win this race, really get a big, increase his gap again. Um, so his 50-point lead is big, and it means Russell is again seriously chasing Antonelli, who can afford another weird issue. Public perception again for George's treatment is really bad, and there's no rest as we launch right into the next race. But the big thing is that Russell had just no power, and it's affecting everyone on the grid randomly because these engines are controlled by machine learning algorithms that randomly decide to give or take away power for no reason at all because the machine can't comprehend, it can't cope with real world lap per lap differences. It's trained in a simulator where everything is the same all the time, but wind, grip, and something as simple as applying slightly more throttle in one corner than you did the previous lap will completely throw off the engine, and you'll either get a huge burst of power you weren't expecting, or you'll get no power. It happened to Isaac a few times. It happened to Piastri a few times in Spa as well. Specifically, it really hurt Isaac in qualifying when he was trying to give Max a tow. So the software that runs engines is just bad, and a lot of the racing is taken out of the hands of the drivers, which is just a really bad quirk of these regulations. And the rule changes for 2027 and 2028 are not going to fix that. They're only going to fix the split in battery to engine power. They're not going to fix this very random issue that keeps happening.
I mean, on the other side of that, it does make the racing more interesting because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but I think it makes it more interesting in a bad way.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. It only rewards those who want chaos, aka
Yeah,
me.
that's fair. It's just so the fact that whatever algorithms they have in the engines can't comprehend tire grip, which is a basic component of racing, is so crazy.
I hope that's just their excuse, and there's some guy back there who is just trying to get the most drama possible and going, you know what, George, you're getting out of this one. I don't like you today. We're
Nah,
cutting the power.
unfortunately, it's been talked about a lot. This is the big issue. So I don't think it is one
Yeah,
man, although it could be, I guess, and no one's admitting it.
the master puppet, the puppet master, the master puppet, the puppet
The
masters.
puppet master, the master puppet. Have you been playing
MBS is
Rise of
back there.
P?
He's. I have not.
Okay, all right,
But I'll be the puppet of masters. I'll tell you that.
all right. Yeah, so that's Mercedes. Basically, I mean, Kimmy, he needed that win, especially when Russell went out. Now he's got a 50-point gap. He can afford weirdness for a race or two. Um, and
Did you
yeah,
guys hear the Russell?
crash out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it. It was only aired on the German broadcast. It wasn't aired anywhere else. They even muted it if
Yeah.
you went into his onboard and tried to listen to his radio.
Wow.
So
I
shout
didn't know
out
that
to
was that much
Sky
notice.
Germany for hooking us up.
Yeah, I don't think he's loving his life at Mercedes right now.
No, certainly not. And the random lack of, I mean, if you see the replay of the race start, he just has no, he's just getting overtaken by everybody on the hill. It's crazy. how little power he has compared to everyone around him. So that'll be, something to look forward to for the rest of time as this like weird engine output glitch. Um, but it'll also be interesting to see how it like comes into play in Hungary and like I guess if your driver like has a bad week, just blame it on that. It's not his fault. It's the engine.
There's no battery. There's no power. He can't get
Yeah.
anything. That's why he spun out and crashed.
Dude, that's why Leclerc hit the wall in Monaco.
Yeah, that's why Isaac Hadjar and all the Red Bulls just cannot have grip and keep on tail spinning.
Yeah,
Although they didn't do
exactly.
that this week, but we'll talk about that, I'm sure.
That's why that's why Aston's that.
Yeah. The guy behind the curtain, the master of puppets, the puppet of masters, hates Aston Martin and Williams.
The guy behind the curtain's a minion, and he's
Yeah,
just hitting
the curtain's
random buttons. For
and
sure.
he loves the green one.
Yeah, he really does. Oh man. So moving on to Ferrari, Hamilton got the penalty. He also didn't get a wing change he wanted during his pit stop, and then during this pit stop, he almost ran over one of his pit crew, and Ferrari got fined 30,000 euros for it. Just a bad day for him. The team double stacked during one of the many virtual safety cars for gravel on track, and Ferrari's strategy call actually worked pretty well this week. They actually managed to not mess it up entirely. Um, Leclerc had been leading the race, and because they pitted him during a virtual safety car, he actually, when he pitted, came out ahead of Antonelli, but the car just wasn't fast enough, and Antonelli overtook him. It took a while, but once he got it, he kept it. There was no yo-yoing. Um, and Leclerc got really lucky when forcing Oscar out wide. He should have gotten a penalty, and Lewis should not have gotten a penalty. I think most people are going to agree with that. The stewards base a lot of their penalty decisions off of the outcome, not the move itself, which I think is very stupid. So yeah, the wrong Ferrari car got a penalty. Leclerc didn't deserve to win the race, and he didn't get the win. Um, and he didn't deserve driver of the day either, but he got that for some reason. Uh,
That's so
I know
crazy.
Nate. I know Nate was furious when I told him that.
Yeah, I think we all
Uh,
agree that
Absolutely
Colapinto
ridiculous.
was the driver of the day.
no, Hadjar easily.
Yeah, any answer other than Hadjar is wrong.
I was watching
um,
the Spanish broadcast, and they were loving Colapinto. So I think
all right,
Colapinto is
fair enough. I guess I can't argue that. Um, Hamilton's fourth place finish was enough to put him ahead of Russell, and Leclerc is far enough down that if Ferrari really wants a challenge for this drivers' championship, it's time to start prioritizing Hamilton. I think like it's time to make that call, and I'll talk more about that in the race preview. So that's Ferrari's race. Strategy worked. Leclerc got lucky. Hamilton did not, and I am becoming a Leclerc hater. I'm gonna dedicate myself to being a Leclerc hater this year. So last year I was a Lando hater. This year, for the remainder of the year, I'm a Leclerc hater. He's not gonna show up on my podium ever. I don't think. We're
everyone
just
loves
gonna go
Leclerc
ahead.
until he gets lucky, and then you're like, why am I rooting for you? You're supposed to be crying.
Exactly. I only like him when he's depressed. So that's Ferrari. We can move on to McLaren unless anyone's got something to say about Ferrari here.
You know, you just have to wonder, is this we thought Lewis was kind of fending off the Kardashian curse. Is this the manifestation of it in Formula One?
Oh, he's just putting it on to Charles.
Charles is
Well, no,
there just to
I'm
take on all the curses. That's his only job at Ferrari.
Yeah. Maybe the curse got confused and they just like sought the most despair in the room and it latched onto Charles.
Or maybe the curse isn't wrong. And we've been getting this story wrong the whole time. Charles Leclerc and Kim Kardashian are actually
That
dating.
would be
And
crazy.
crazy work. No,
Whoa.
I don't think that works like that.
That'd
Lewis
be
Hamilton
what
just
a
has a chair.
scandal. That would be scandalous. What about Charles's wife?
She can get a
True.
share too. I don't know. Gender equality.
He's busy messaging like indie fashion designers on Instagram for free samples.
Well, what else is Charles gonna wear? He's gotta keep his looks up.
Yeah, sure.
Gotta keep appearances.
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Kardashian curse to say otherwise. But I think we do know that we can just blame it on the minions.
True. Yeah.
You know, it
Yeah,
always
everyone
comes
knows.
back. Remember, this is now a minions podcast. We always gotta be coming back to the minions.
You know who definitely loves minions? That's
McLaren.
right. Lewis Hamilton. And
Oh,
not Charles Leclerc.
Yeah,
Lewis did post
exactly.
minions on main, which got Hannah a style point.
Oh shit! Let me go add that
Yay!
before I forget.
I already added it.
Oh, nice. I knew
Uh,
Samsung's got that personality, but you know what? Who else has a personality? McLaren. You're
there
right.
you go. I bet you Zach Brown does love the minions. I bet you Zach Brown has like one of those white mom minion Facebook post things printed out in his office. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
And McLaren had a mixed bag this weekend. Norris came into the race with a 10th-place grid drop for new components, started in 13th, climbed all the way to first, and genuine podium contention before McLaren kept him out way too long, and he dropped all the way down to 7th. I think they were waiting for another virtual safety car before pitting Norris, and obviously that just does not work. But his 7th place does not give his race performance any justice. He was on fire during the race. So blame the team for this one. Blame once again McLaren's strategy for being completely unable to handle anything at all. We make fun of, or I make fun of Ferrari strategy a lot, but McLaren's is just as bad, if not even worse in some cases. Specifically Hungary, which we can talk about later. 2 years ago, but Piastri got damaged from the collision with Leclerc, and that pretty much ruined his race. 5th was the best he could do. I think without that collision or with the Leclerc penalty, maybe Piastri has a chance at a podium there. Um, but McLaren overall, I think they have some good things to take away from this race, especially their pace on both cars, which was surprisingly good. I thought they were going to suck. I thought they were going to struggle here a lot, and they didn't, and that's good for them.
I mean, Oscar still kind of struggled, but Lando really showed. I mean, he's really showed why he won the world championship last year. Although this race was testing my incredibly normie brain of like, I didn't understand the strategy at all of what was going on, and I'm like, how does Lando go from first and contending for podium to 7th? I guess I don't understand what's going on at all. So it's nice to know that McLaren just sucks at strategy.
Yeah, they kept him out too long. I think if they pitted him earlier, it looks a little different. I don't know if he would have gotten up to a podium, but maybe he would have gotten top 5. But
They just
7th,
wanted him to feel what it was like to lead a race, you know?
he knows what it's like to lead
It's
a
been a
race.
while.
He won a sprint this year.
How long ago
So,
was that?
Miami.
Okay.
So,
It's been
yeah,
like a couple months.
that's McLaren. I think their strategy really screwed Lando over. His pace was crazy. Which maybe the new engine helps, I guess. It's a brand new engine, so obviously it worked. And he didn't, blow up in lap 1, so that's always good.
No stop points for you, unfortunately.
No style points for me or Nat, who predicted top 5.
Yeah,
So
just couldn't do it. Couldn't make it there.
no. All right. Moving on to Red Bull. Max Verstappen got Red Bull's 300th podium, of which he has 130 of them. So of Red Bull's 300 podiums, he's got the most at 130. He qualified very well and took the lead from Antonelli at the start. But he couldn't hold it as the car's straight line speed was just not great. Granted, he did qualify in second because he had a crazy good tow from Isaac. Although Isaac towed him twice in Q3, and on the first time, Isaac's engine gave him way more power than he wanted, and he was too far ahead of Max. And then on the second time, Isaac's engine didn't give him any power, so he was really close to Max, like dangerously close to Max. So both toes weren't perfect, but they were good enough to get Max into second place, and no one was catching Kimi anyway. So I think second place was literally the best he could do.
I think this race for Max really like shows what's different between last year and this year for regulations and like how the racing's going. Because last year, like his whole strategy for winning races was qualify really well, get ahead early, and then you're good. You just defend and you're gonna win. But that just doesn't work this year. He can't save off the Mercedes, and when they get ahead, they just outspeed them. Which the McLarens could have done last year, but the regs made it so that he had a much easier time defending.
Yeah. So Red Bull, I mean, overall, I think it's a fine weekend. I'll always be happy for a Verstappen podium, obviously. And yeah, the car just isn't as fast as Mercedes or Ferrari and even McLaren in some cases. So, although I think Red Bull and McLaren are probably more evenly matched. So, but they showed up. Um, they were really good, especially in the middle sector, and the car is steadily improving. Hadjar, I mean, he started from the very back of the grid and he got up to he got all the way to 6. So he had hard drive, he drove really well, and he had 3 pit stops in an audacious 3-stop strategy, but it worked perfectly. So they showed up in Spa, even though they didn't win. I think it's a great weekend for them. And now Alpine and VCarb are 5th place teams. They're tied, 61 points. I thought for sure VCarb would overtake Alpine, but Alpine got their pace back, and now we have a battle for 5th place. Lindblad was the fastest of the 4 drivers, and that updated VCarb intake is why. I say here I don't know why they didn't give the intake to Lawson, but I do know why. The team had decided that whoever qualified better in Silverstone would get the upgrade for Spa, and Lindblad out-qualified Lawson. So that was the deciding factor. Everyone had agreed to it. But Lawson's going to get it in Hungary, which could be huge for them. But Alpine recovered their pace, and Colapino was the point scorer for the team. After overtaking Gasly and Lawson, he did a little double overtake there while the two were fighting. And I wish the race director kind of showed more of the fight because it's getting good between these two teams. So 5th place battle is a great battle to watch. Alpine might be, at least they saw that they're actually getting threatened. Their 5th place is getting threatened, so they decided to pick it up, I guess.
I mean, it's going to be threatened more because more and more midfield teams are entering the fight for those few points that any midfield teams can get.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Colapinto, again, I was watching on the Spanish broadcast, and the amount of times they're talking about Colapinto was crazy. I wonder if they're just
who are actually
well, yeah, I don't know if they were doing anything back there, but they're talking about Colapinto because he was battling so hard, and that mini player was giving me heart attacks because, I'm kind of okay with yo-yo racing like for the main screen because you're like, oh, I don't know, there's a little bit of tension there of like who's actually gonna, speed away, who's gonna be the one to actually get the place. But in the minicam, it just feels so bad because they're just used to people getting ahead and staying ahead. And you'll see like Gasly overtake Lawson, and then you look back a little bit later and Lawson overtakes back Gasly, and like, great, okay, well that was nothing. So yeah, the minicam isn't great for yo-yo racing. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I mean, I was surprised Alpine. I thought they were for sure going to get like completely outscored again. I thought it was going to be VCarb 9th and 10th. But they fought back. Although with Lawson, Lindblad, they weren't catching Lindblad. So if Lawson has this new intake in Hungary, that could really be a difference, and we'll talk about that more in the preview. But yeah, I want to see more of these fights. I don't want to see it in the mini player. Maybe the solution is to have like one of their onboards up at all times or something. So
just always have Gasly on there. Just always looking at him. He's always fighting someone.
Yeah, have all 4 of them.
Really, have all 22 drivers on screen at once. You don't miss anything.
So both of them, though, both teams finished behind Bortoletto, who was flying in the Audi. I think they're going to keep improving. We're going to see them battle for 5th by the time the season ends. Not obviously they got a long way to go. But if they keep outscoring V Carbon Alpine, then there's no reason they shouldn't be able to fight for fifth as the season goes on. Hulkenberg wasn't as fast, but he has performed better this race than I think he has in a lot of the other races this year. So I think it's a great race for Audi, who, as I said last week, I think they're back. And everyone else failed to score. Haas actually did bring an update to the race. I did not realize that. So that's on me. But the biggest story I think is still the gulf between Behrman and Ocon. It's not even close. And this was Ocon's 10th anniversary in F1, and he stunk it up. Williams didn't use the race as a test session, so that's good. But they did replace Sainz's front wing against his wishes, so that was a bit of a confusing scenario for the team. And Cadillac had their normal pace, and Perez's hydraulics exploded again. It's like the 5th time this has happened, I think. And Aston were dismal, and Stroll's clutch broke. So pretty much usual at the back of the field. It's pretty much par for the course for the back. And that's Hungary. So if anyone's got anything to say about Hungary now, or no, I'm sorry, Spa. That's Spa. So if you got something to say, please.
I regret asking Audi to step up their game. They can. I wish they'd go back to the bottom feeders. I don't want Bortolo up there. He's too fast. And also him and Hulkenberg are starting to feel like Behrman and Ocon now. Now that Bortolo is starting to score points, it's like, okay, these old guys.
Actually,
I don't know if they got it anymore.
That is something that's interesting. We're seeing Kimi beat George. Bortoleto is better than Hulkenberg. Behrman is better than Ocon. Pinto, recently at least, has been better than Gasly. And Lindblad and Lawson have kind of been evenly matched, but Lindblad definitely recently has been fast. So seen people kind of talking about why are the last year's rookies so much faster than their teammates, barring Hadjar and Verstappen. And unfortunately for Hadjar, he's going against, I think, a generational one-of-one talent, so it's a little bit of an unfair comparison. But a lot of the reasoning I've seen is, and I kind of agree with this, is that all these other drivers had years of the last regulation set. It was like a 5-year regulation set. They had 5 years of ground effect cars, and the way you drove the cars is super different than how you drive these cars. And all these other drivers have to unlearn that, whereas all of last year's rookies had 1 year of that and are now, they don't have as much to unlearn and relearn. And I think that's interesting. And I think that could be a pretty good explanation of why we're seeing some of these younger drivers totally just be better. Especially in the case of Bortoleto and Behrman, because I think the gaps between those their teammates are a lot bigger than Colapinto and Gasly, for example, and Kimi and George. But I mean, Kimi is definitely faster than George. I think there's no really denying that, engine problems aside. So I think that's why, the young guys are a little faster in a lot of cases. Obviously, it's not that's a blanket statement, obviously, but it makes sense.
Yeah, and the one exception, Verstappen, they famously make the car for Verstappen, and so the second driver there always has to adjust to what Verstappen wants.
I mean, Hadjar's up there in qualifying with him. It's just race pace is where he drops.
He is. And they both kind of went through the same growing pains at the start of the season, with spinning out and figuring out that car.
And to be fair to Red Bull and Lauren McKee, they are not, the gap between the two cars, upgrade wise, is not the same anymore. It's not as they're upgrading the cars evenly. Like with Checo, they would not replace Checo's busted floor so they could have a spare floor for Max. They're not doing that shit anymore.
Okay. But yeah, all I'm saying is that Red Bull famously caters towards Max very hard.
Yeah.
And so he might get a little bit of a break than some of the other older drivers. Like Haas is not catering to Ocon, right? He's not getting any breaks over there.
Right. So, but yeah. So Spa. Any other thoughts on Spa, Andrew? By the way, I saw you joined. Welcome in. And if not, we'll move on.
Yeah, Andrew, I just want to make sure that you review what we said last time. We put a lot of stuff in the chat.
Yeah, so Andrew, just take a peep at the Discord when you get a chance, and blame Dave.
Me? You can
Yeah.
see who was to blame. You can see who's to blame. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, but we know whose fault it really is. Anyway, some style points updates, like we had mentioned. Hannah got a style point, and I already added it. Since Hamilton did post minions on main, and we determined that counts as a minion appearance at the race. Everyone else was wrong, and specifically me and Nat got totally screwed over by the McLaren strategy team. So I think Nat, you definitely would have gotten a style point. I think Lando was for sure going to get fifth, but
He
McLaren
was
screwed us
doing
both
so
over.
well. He was on a roll. Like I was like, wow, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So that's a lot of people mad at McLaren for various reasons. I think me and Nat may be the most valid reasons to be mad at McLaren. On the planet. So it's Hungary time. The Hungary preview. One more time before the summer break. The weekend schedule is the same. Practice 1 is Friday at 7:30. Practice 2 is Friday at 11. Practice 3 is Saturday at 6:30. Qualifying is Saturday at 10. And the race is Sunday at 9. Track is a little over 4 kilometers long, 70 laps with a total distance of a little over 306 kilometers. It's really hard to overtake here. The circuit is uniquely dusty all the time as well because it never gets to use unless F1 is in town. It has been referred to as Monaco without walls because of how narrow the track is. So take that as you will. And with all the dust that happens on the track, grip is hard to come by, especially if you go off the racing line, which makes it, of course, hard to overtake. Hamilton has the lap record here set in 2020 with that beast of a Mercedes that year, and it's a 1:16.627, and it's a really high downforce circuit, which means unlike Spa, where there was like a big Spa was really energy and battery reliant, whereas here it's not, which is a good news for everyone that's not Mercedes. So uh, and of course, it's right before the summer break, so we're gonna have 4 weeks to talk about whatever nonsense happens. Uh, I feel obligated to remind everyone in here, specifically Nate, of what happened 2 years ago at Hungary when McLaren held active hostage negotiations on the radio for all of us to hear. And also, that's when Max had a temper tantrum, and VP basically told him to go in timeout. It was great. Hungary 2024 was honestly, in hindsight, an all-timer for drama, specifically. So we start with Mercedes. They're in an interesting position here. No reliability issues in Spa, but that was overshadowed, obviously, by the Russell DNF. He's on the chase here, like I mentioned. He's really going to want to go into summer break with a win. And it's not going to be easy because Antonelli is been better and faster. Whether it's Russell's car or Russell's driving style or both, Russell just has not been as fast as his teammate. And it's hard to overtake. So it's not really the place to, let's say they decide the issue is the power unit. You're not going to take a grid drop here because then you're just going to be stuck in the back. So if it is the car, he's just going to have to deal with it at least this week in order to fight for a win. And Antonelli, unfortunately for Russell, is just cruising. He's got 6 wins this year. So a little fun fact for you. Antonelli wins this race. Him and Russell are tied for career wins. If Antonelli wins this race and the next 2, him and Leclerc are tied for career wins. And he just got the feeling that that's going to happen. Maybe not all in a row, but I feel like Antonelli's going to catch Leclerc this year for career wins. Because his quality is really good and his race pace is just insane. So, and I don't really see that changing anytime soon. These were some of the tracks where he really struggled last year, and he does not have those problems this year.
Another reason why not to drop places, especially for Mercedes, is because especially George Russell has issues overtaking. Like whenever he's stuck in the pack, he is stuck in that pack.
Yeah.
So taking a 10 grid place drop is just not feasible for him.
Yeah, so I mean they're not going to replace his power unit this week unless like there's an actual unless the car won't work without it. I don't see them replacing it because this is just not. There are certain tracks where you do that. It's kind of like it's not mandatory where you do it, but there are certain tracks where the teams are like, this is the place to do it, and this is not one of them.
They could do it for PR reasons, so that George doesn't completely crash out
Yeah, but
again.
that'd be funnier.
It would be so funny.
Imagine
George
another
Russell.
lap one racing incident.
I imagine George Russell taking Kimi hostage. Except they,
Oh
of course,
no.
you can't catch him. So you'd have to do it off track.
We're gonna have another 2024 situation.
Except it's going to be off track. It's going to be a real life hostage negotiation. He's not going to let him in the
Oh,
car.
oh no. I think George is too nice for that. He's too
I
posh.
don't
He's too
know.
proper.
He's shown another side. Have you seen what the posh Brits do in foreign countries?
That's fair.
Have you ever heard of colonization?
I have, yeah. I believe the minions were involved in that too, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure the minions colonized me.
I am just going to move on from that sentence. And we're going to focus on Ferrari now. It's from the chase, and they've been getting faster and faster. They might not prioritize Hamilton here, but the outcome of this race might determine whether they will going into Zandvoort after the break. That being said, I think they should prioritize Hamilton starting now if they want to fight for this drivers' championship. I think this is the weekend to make that decision. I don't think they're going to make the decision, but they should, in my opinion, at least. The straights aren't as long here. It's more of a horsepower reliant track. I think they're going to be pretty good. I think it's okay to have some Ferrari hope as long as you're prepared for the heartbreak.
Yeah,
But
they have been letting the Ferraris fight a lot, and they really shouldn't. But also, I feel like in a lot of recent races, they've just been prioritizing whoever has the best chance. They've kind of squandered their chances of teamwork and prioritizing Hamilton or either of them in the early races when they could have. They just kind of let them fight, which is really entertaining, but has not really led to them being more competitive in the drivers' championship.
yeah, well, I mean, at that time, I think we were still in the too early to tell stage. But I do think now is the time for them to start prioritizing Hamilton. So that's Ferrari. It's very brief. It's a brief preview. Um, the McLarens, sorry. They can easily get in the mix for the podium, I think, if not the top spot, if they keep their same pace from Spa. Um, it seems like they fixed their straight line speed issue, which was their biggest, and they keep improving. Uh, so I mean, sure, it's not massive gains each week, but it is gains, and that's what matters. Strategy could also be super important here, with the undercut providing the best overtaking opportunity, and that's not a comforting thought for McLaren, given their strategy team is horrible. So if it comes down to that, it's going to be rough. And their history here is not great. But if it's not as strategy dependent, their car is fast. I think they've been solving a lot of their issues, so I think they're a team to keep an eye out for. And if this circuit isn't as battery reliant, then you gotta keep an eye on Red Bull. Like McLaren, they've been steadily improving, and they have both drivers able to get up and fight, which is huge for the team. They're also very clever with strategy, which gives them a pretty good advantage here. I know I've been on the Red Bull train, and it hasn't exactly paid off as much as I've wanted it to this year, but I'm not hopping off the train anytime soon. I think a Verstappen podium, I think is reasonable. I think it's totally reasonable here. So those are your top four teams, and now we move on to
Where
the. Nope.
where
Go
is
ahead.
your expectations for like do you think Verstappen can compete for the WDC this year?
Probably not. I think it's too late.
Yeah, he's over 100 points behind right now.
It would
But
really take. a miracle in both directions of Red Bull improvement and Mercedes failure.
Well, I mean, Mercedes is as we've seen,
Yeah, but they
all
didn't
too
have any
ready to
issues at
start
Spa.
failing.
They didn't have any.
I mean, they is a big thing. George
Right.
definitely did.
Yeah,
Kimmy
but
just got lucky.
there's two drivers.
Yeah,
And he also has to overtake the Ferraris. So I do think it's probably too late for Max to fight for drivers. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they come into Zandvoort 30 seconds ahead of everybody else, and then it's totally reasonable.
I mean, he can definitely get
So-
up to like fourth. He ahead of Charles probably.
I mean, he's only 1
If-
point behind Charles, no?
No, unless if my sayings are wrong. He's at
No,
91
he's 1 point
points.
behind
Charles is at
Piastri. He's 1 point behind
yeah,
Piastri.
yeah. The McLaren are somehow still ahead of him.
Right.
Well, I guess he does crash. I keep on forgetting it. He keeps on crashing so many times.
Well, yeah.
He had a P2 that turned into 0 points.
Yes, he did. So did Kimmy, and George had a P1 that turned into 0, so it happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it's going to happen this year, unfortunately. That's okay. I got 4 in a row. I'm fine with that. So, the battle for 5th place gets one big change. Like I mentioned, Lawson is getting the updated intake for his car. And we saw how good it was in Spa. That's going to be big for them because they can out-qualify Alpine and keep Alpine behind in the race, which I think they'll be able to do. Then they go into the break having stolen 5th place, and that's going to be huge for the team. Alpine, though, not going to make it easy. Like I said, they've recovered some pace in the recent string of races. So I think this is the battle to watch. I think 5th place is the most exciting battle on the grid, aside from the battle between George and his own car.
Yeah, and Alpine has kind of struggled to qualify these last couple races. They keep on going on Q2. It's really annoying. So they come up with a bit of disadvantage.
Yeah.
And the Racing Bulls are just kind of faster. We'll see how much of a boon this new upgrade gives to Lawson, and if we can get some more exciting racing.
Yeah. Again, this is the battle to watch. So, but if you're watching this battle, you got to look out for Audi. They were great in Spa. They've made leaps in improvement from Silverstone and Spa both. And I think points are on the table, especially for Bortoleto, who, like we said, is driving amazing right now. I do want to see Hulkenberg get up there too, but if I have to pick an Audi in the points, I'm picking Bortoleto. And they've been fast. They've been catching up. And so I think they're gonna be able to disrupt that 5th place fight before we know it.
Does Hulkenberg even want to race next year? Like is he planning on retiring after this year, or?
I have no idea, and I don't know his contract either.
Because
Given that
if he
there's
wants to race next year,
rumors,
he's got to score points if he's going to race next year. Because this is looking rough.
yeah, given that there's rumors of signs to Audi, maybe that does lean to.
Don't do it. You're too old.
You're too
do
old to go to Audi.
So signs just has to stay at
Good
Williams.
boy. Come on.
Oh, I don't think she's talking to us.
No.
She's talking to Nero.
Trying
Too old to fly.
Such
to
good,
go to
this is
Audi.
amazing timing.
Don't do
Sorry,
it. He's too old.
my mute was actually on, so I'm sorry that came through.
That's all good. It's all
It's
good.
okay. You just called signs old.
I was
Called
wondering
Nico
why I
Signs
did
old.
that, and then Dave was like so old, and I was like, wait, that's weird. I literally just said that.
Well, you know what? Speaking of signs, Haas and Williams are just waiting for the summer break to A, get out of their cars, and B, upgrade them. Both of these teams are probably going to be relegated to the back of the pack where they've been most of the year, but I don't know. Maybe Sainz can belt out an insane qualifying like he has been known to do and sneak up into the points. Probably not, but you gotta have some hope here. Below them, Cadillac are still learning and improving. Again, there's like no expectations for this team aside from the lofty ones that we're setting here. But those are different. I just want to see them both finish this race. No reliability issues. Please keep Perez's car in one piece. And maybe we can talk about points later in the year, which is definitely something I said about this team before. Before we talk about our last team on the grid, any final thoughts on Hungary? Because this last team is going to take a lot.
Well, Sainz has kind of like been there in some of the fights. Him and Hulkenberg have kind of like fought with the Alpines to get that last point. But both of them just don't have enough like endurance. They always end up not being able to keep the place or, really losing pace towards the end of the race. So it's just, I don't think the car is good enough for Sainz, and maybe he can figure out a way with a couple of lucky crashes to get up there in the points.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But finally, Aston. This is it. This is the week. This is when they get a totally new car. They're getting a B-spec car, basically. This is the upgrade package to end all upgrade packages. This is going to unlock the Honda engine. This is going to reclaim Newey's throne. This is going to fix the team. Trust me, it's going to. It's not going to. All right, it's not. But poking fun aside, the update comes in 2 packages. So Aero and other car parts are here in Hungary, and then the new Honda engine actually comes after the summer break in Zandvoort. So with that in mind, that they're not getting their full upgrade this weekend, I think their goal this week should just be to catch up to Cadillac. Just catch up. They were 2 seconds behind. Not good, not where you want to be. So Alonso finished a full minute behind Bottas, so that's not great. So catch up to Cadillac and then aim for fighting other midfielders when you get the new engine in Zandvoort. I mean, I just want to be clear, I have no faith in this team's ability to deliver an upgrade that'll work, but it's coming, and they're saying this is going to be the one. And this comes right when everyone is asking a whole lot of questions about Alonso's future. With the team and in the sport, the general kind of vibe is that if this upgrade package doesn't deliver, Alonso's out. Very likely. So, and who wants to go there, you know?
We'll find out in our summer break episode who we think is going to go there.
That is true. That is true. But I know Nate has some thoughts on this Aston upgrade.
Look, I think everyone's all focused on Newey and what Newey is going to do for this team. And frankly, I think, not to knock him or anything, like he's one of the best to ever do it in his position. Some of the innovations he's brought to the sport are huge and still in play to this day. Don't think I'm putting as much faith or stock in Newey as I am in Honda overall. Obviously, the aspects of the upgrade that he was in charge of are going to be critical to unlocking the full potential of the car. I just think if there's any reason I'm like having faith in it actually being effective, it's because of a Honda. Like, Honda's been in the game longer than Newey has, and they've seen both ups and downs. Orihara specifically has not been, well, actually, I think he's been around about the same amount of time as Newey in F1.
Yeah, I was gonna say certainly not on the planet.
Yeah, but if there's anything I'm having faith in, it's Honda and Honda making good investments. I can't imagine this lasting, past this season. I'm not saying they're going to turn it around immediately this season. I'm not saying like, oh, they'll be able to fight the midfield, by the end of this year. But frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to once both halves of that upgrade comes through. I don't have super high expectations for this weekend.
Good.
But
because the engine still sucks. And it's not changing.
What are high expectations for this team? Is that like P20?
Damn.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they took a step forward this weekend, like a notable
Yeah.
step forward.
Catch up the
They
cat
could be
off.
within,
Also,
yeah, they could be within 30 seconds of Perez.
Also, I don't think. I know the
You're
engine's
joking, but
bad,
I'm
but I
not. I
don't
think
think
that
the
should be their
engine.
goal.
I'm not joking that much, to be honest. I'm just saying it to explain how dire they are.
No, yeah, but like I don't think the engine itself is as bad as what everyone's making it out to be. I can't see that being the case. Honda's been developing power units since the fucking 80s. Like,
Yeah, but all the recent like talent in F1, all the recent like F1 talent moved over to Red Bull powertrains, and that I think is a big
Honda's
thing.
still there. He's been there since 03. Like,
Yeah, he's one guy.
they did not lose all their. I know, but I'm saying like, there's no shot that it's just Orihara that stayed. Like, I know they lost most of their people, sure, but like I refuse to like just rule out any other stayovers.
I actually have a theory of how they're going to make this quantum leap.
Oh god, not the quantum leap again.
And I mean, do you guys know about the show Quantum Leap? It's like, I'm pretty sure it's about time travel. I actually don't know,
Yes,
but pretty sure
I
it's about
think
time
it's
travel.
no. You're thinking of Quantum Break.
Oh, I was like, isn't Quantum Leap like a movie?
Quantum
No, like,
Break is the show about time travel and it has a tie-in video game.
well, no, Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap. It's
Quantum
the
Break.
no, it's Quantum Leap. It's got my man in it, who is Archer in Star Trek. Anyway, it's a TV show about time travel. So I think what they're gonna do,
Okay. We're both
yeah,
thinking
it's from
of.
like the year 2000. I don't know
We're
what
both
Quantum Break
right,
is.
by the way. We're both right.
Quantum Leap, the video game system
No,
for 3-year-olds.
Quantum Break is also a time travel thing.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, anyway, I think when they said that they have a quantum leap, what they're actually doing is developing a time machine.
Okay.
And I think they're gonna go back and they're gonna get Fernando Alonso, but from 2007, and they're gonna get Adrian Newey, but from I'm really testing my F1 knowledge here. 2019. That seems like a good year for him.
No, I'd say like
2020,
23, maybe.
2023.
Yeah.
That reset, damn. 2023 Adrian Newey before he fell off this year, I guess. And I guess Orihara from 2004. Sure. Get them all in a room and make this car better.
All right. So Aston's developing time machines instead of fixing their car. That would explain a lot about this year, actually.
Yeah, it's Adrian Newey is just trying to get younger, okay? And by that I mean get his younger self and get him over here.
3 years younger.
3 years younger. 3 years makes a difference, okay?
All right. Well, anyway, any other thoughts, Nate, or anybody else on Hungary?
I would like to point out that while you guys are focusing on the power unit, there is one major difference in this regulation set with the computers and the algorithms driving a lot of this
We talked about
underneath
that.
the
You missed
hood.
it.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
We
early.
talked
okay.
about it at the start. Yeah.
But improving, if you talk about improving a car, you can only do so much to the aerodynamics or to the actual car before it's just you can't get any faster until you fix what's under the hood.
Are you saying that Adrian Newey doesn't know how to use computers?
Yes.
Uh,
He designs
yeah,
all his cars
probably.
famously in pencil and paper.
He was born in 1958. He's pretty young. He's probably seen a computer.
Seen a computer, yes. Written a line of code, highly doubt it.
0% chance. 0% chance. Yeah, so I don't know how easily. I don't know if the algorithms are set in stone by the regs or if they're allowed to tamper with them. That is something I just genuinely don't know. Because
I
it's
would
happening across the grid, which makes me think that it's a whole thing.
I would be shocked if they allowed them to change them during the year,
Yeah.
but I could see like teams developing their own like for next year if they keep
Well, it could also be
going with it.
that the other
Just turn it
teams
off.
have it could also be that the other teams like developed like how the car works around the software to some extent, and Aston hasn't. Because
Or
Aston
it's just,
can't move anywhere, so I
or
don't.
maybe Aston's just using ChatGPT to write their algorithms.
Oh no.
Maybe just to write the whole car as a ChatGPT car out there.
There is an argument to make that the algorithms are actually against the overall regulations of Formula One, which like rule 1.1 in F1 is that the formula, the regulations have to allow for the driver to be in complete control at all times. And with
I can
these
tell you that that's
algorithms
not the case right
determining
now.
output, that is not happening.
It's time to sue the FIA. We're bringing a court case, announcing it right now.
And our lawyer is going to be a minion.
We'll get Aaron.
No, we're gonna get all of the minions. All of them, every single one.
Wrong type of law, Nate, but I like what you're thinking.
So yes, that's Hungary. But yeah, Andrew, we did talk a lot about the algorithms earlier, unfortunately.
Mm.
Before we go into pick the podium, there's some stats, some updates. There was an overtake. Nat passed me for second place, and she is continuing her climb to catching Sam. She's been very steadily moving on up. And then MV3, my third straight Verstappen win prediction brings me down to third place, which is also where Max finished in the race. It's just destiny at this point. So that's our race kind of preview here, and we do have to predict this podium. But if anyone does have any final thoughts, please.
There are surprisingly a lot of lawyers for the last name Minion. And I'll leave it at that.
All right. Anyway, podium time. Let's just do it. I do have Sam's podium. He's not here, but I do have his prediction. And believe it or not, he does have Antonelli in first, followed by Verstappen and Lando Norris.
God damn it!
And
That's what I wanted.
well, you can do it too. There's
Well,
nothing stopping
now
you.
it looks like now it looks like the second place person is copying the first place.
I
You'll
mean,
never win that way.
that wouldn't get you any. That wouldn't do anything other than just make sure that your gap to him doesn't drop.
See, I definitely want Antonelli for P1. I think I will go. I'll do Lewis P2 and Lando P3.
All right. I am next, and I said that I'm going to keep picking Verstappen to win until I drop out of the top 3 in our standings. So I'm going with Verstappen again to win the race. And then I think we've got a Hamilton P2, and we'll throw Antonelli in there for P3. Very close to my prediction last week, slightly different. And now it is Hannah's turn by 1 point. By 1 point. 201 to 200.
Ooh. I'm gonna stick with my diva, and I'm gonna put George first
All
still,
right.
and then I will do Antonelli and then Verstappen.
All right, Andrew.
So I'm gonna go Kimmy in first, Lewis in second. I originally had Verstappen in third, but Red Bull's been struggling with the high downforce tracks this year. So I think I'm gonna go with Leclerc in 3.
All right, a double
He's been on a
Ferrari
roll.
podium. You also missed earlier when I declared myself to be a Leclerc hater this year.
Mm. Oh.
And Nate,
Each their own.
Charles, Kimmy, Lando.
Norris first.
No, Charles, Kimmy, Lando.
Oh, okay. I just heard give me Lando.
Give me
Leclerc,
thing.
Antonelli, and Norris. All right, Dave. Let's hear it.
We've been talking a lot about, the supporting drivers who really need to win for their career. So I think I'm going to pick them because they need it. They need it, and I'm going to give them some hope. So P3, I'm going to put Hulkenberg.
Oh, P3.
P2, we'll put Ocon. And P1, we'll put Piastri.
All right. Damn. Brutal assessment of Oscar. That's our podium. Does anyone have any style points? Dave already has his written down. Dave thinks there's going to be another hostage situation, just like 2024.
Either Mercedes or Ferrari. I don't think George can catch up to Kimi to give a hostage situation, but Charles and Lewis could definitely do it.
All right, okay. I have one, and that's Russell out on lap 1 again.
Wow.
Any others? Any others?
That's kind of crazy because mine was also going to involve Russell, but
All right,
I think
time to
he'll
hear
make
it.
it past. I think he'll make it past lap 1. I just think the
Okay.
result. I think the result of his DNF is going to be a long puncture.
Okay, so
What a call.
makes it past lap 1, but DNFs with long puncture.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very
That's a lot of
specific.
style points. Yeah, that'd be like 10. Think of that, right? That's crazy.
I'll take an Audi DNF.
Brutal. Nat, Hannah.
Can I
Hmm.
take another? Well, actually, no. Nah, I think I'm good.
All right.
I'm gonna say Cadillac in the points. They
All
get one
right.
win at
Ooh.
least.
Wow.
Okay, I like that. That's bold. All 8 drivers of the top 4 teams are going to DNF, and that's how that's going to happen.
And then a couple in the midfield, too.
Oh wait, actually, can I add something?
Yes, of course.
Can I say one of the Aston, or actually one, Alonso?
You leave them alone.
It's
Get 'em.
positive.
Alonso.
What they've been consistently placing 21 and 22, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to get into the high teens. One of the Aston Martin drivers is going to place in the high teens.
One Aston finishes in. What are you defining high teens as?
Like, honestly, like 18, 19.
All it needs is a couple DNFs.
Yeah, literally.
Well,
here's the thing: if they finish 17th,
Cadillacs.
she doesn't get the points. If they finish 17th, doesn't get the points.
True.
That's fair. That's fair. I
Yeah,
didn't
but-
say that.
All that takes is like both Cadillacs DNFing, or a Cadillac and a Haas DNFing.
Or
We've
George
been doing
DNFing.
well.
But it
Fine,
also
fine.
requires the
Finish-
Astons to not DNF, which they have struggled with.
I do think
Yeah,
that this
but-
could be qualifies 18, 19, or 19.
Wait. Are we saying like both of them are gonna finish,
No,
or
one Aston
one of them? You
finishes
said
in
one.
18th or 19th.
See, so like Lance
one
could
of
still
them is gonna
DNF,
do-
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But so could Alonso. They could both DNF.
but Alonso hasn't DNF'd super recently.
Yeah, but he's got new engine parts. He's got new car parts this week. Who knows what's gonna happen?
He's in an Aston Martin.
Yeah, he's in an Aston.
God, I can't wait till they finish in the points because of this. I take it back. Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
hope all ours come true.
Or are we making addendums? Am I using that correctly? I don't know.
No, you can keep it. Yeah, I mean 8 through 19.
Okay.
I think
Alright.
that's fair.
Cool.
All right.
I love scrolling to the right to remember why I do this. You know.
Is it the minion or is it Kim K?
Yes.
All right, there
Yes.
you go.
it's-
You heard it here first.
yes.
That is our episode for the night. This was a long one. This was a lengthy one. Talked a lot. And one more, and we'll be in the summer break. So next week is the Hungary review, and then either the week after that or the week after that will be the summer episode. We'll have to decide which week we want to do the summer episode. And I think for the summer episode, we should redo our rankings tier lists because that was fun. And we'll do everyone has to redraw the grid. And my rules for that, I'll tell you now, are you have to move all 22 drivers. No one can be at where they are now. And
Oh, okay.
you can replace one driver with anybody you want on the planet. I don't care who it is. However, the driver that is replaced cannot be Lance Stroll.
Oh, God damn it!
Yeah. What the fuck?
Blame Dave because I know for a
Alright,
fact
easy.
Dave would
Easy.
replace
I know who I
Lance.
want out. I know who I want out.
Immediately think about replacing Lance. So the
Dave would
first thing I
replace
thought
Lance, and so he ruined it for everybody.
of. God damn it!
So start thinking about that, about your redraw of the grid. Go wild with the team principles as well if you want to. I don't really care. But all drivers have to be moved, and you can replace one driver with anybody you want, but that replaced driver cannot be Lance Stroll.
It's just
So-
anti-picking me. Okay. I gotta read everything now.
So that is that's the rules. So start thinking about that. We'll determine a summer episode. We'll determine what week we want to do that, and it'll be fun. It was fun last year, so I will send links to the tier list maker when I find it, and we'll do that later, closer to the actual episode. So, thank you guys for being here. And that's it. So good night, and this has been the #1 F1/Minions podcast on the planet.
Wouldn't it be so fun?
Wouldn't it be?